The journey of a startup is not a straight line. It's a series of milestones, each marked by unique challenges, opportunities, and funding needs. From the earliest napkin sketch to ringing the bell at a stock exchange, startups evolve through distinct stages of capital raising. Each stage comes with different expectations from investors, different requirements for proof, and different implications for founders' ownership. Navigating this progression wisely can mean the difference between sustainable growth and premature collapse. Funding is not just about getting money into your bank account. It's about aligning capital with strategy, timing, and execution. Understanding the stages of startup funding gives you a roadmap to grow responsibly while protecting your long term vision. Funding stages matter for three main reasons. The first is different expectations. Each round of funding has its own requirements. At the pre seed stage, investors may only expect a validated idea. By Series A, they demand proven traction and repeatable growth. Knowing what's expected prepares you to hit the right milestones at the right time. The second is strategic roadmap. Understanding your stage helps you prioritize what matters most, whether that's validating the problem, refining the product, or scaling operations. It prevents you from skipping critical steps or chasing the wrong investors too early. The third is ownership impact. Every round dilutes founder equity. Raising more than you need early on can cost you control later. Conversely, raising too little can leave you starved for cash before hitting your next milestone. Smart founders strike a balance, raising only what's necessary to achieve clear objectives. The progression typically follows a path: pre seed, seed, Series A, and then growth rounds like Series B, C, and beyond. Each has distinct characteristics that shape your company's evolution. The pre seed stage is where everything begins, the foundation phase. At this point, you may not have a fully developed product or even a minimum viable product, but you need to prove your concept has legs. The first priority is problem validation. Show clear evidence that the problem you're tackling exists and that customers are willing to pay for a solution. Surveys, interviews, and early research matter here. The second is early prototypes. Build scrappy versions of your product to test assumptions and gather feedback. These prototypes don't need to be polished. They need to generate learning. The third is demand signals. Even before you have a full product, you can collect waitlist signups, pilot commitments, or pre-orders. These signals prove that your idea resonates with the market. Funding at this stage typically ranges from $100,000 to $1 million, sourced from friends and family, angel investors, accelerators, or founder savings. The goal is not scaling. It's proving your foundation is strong enough for future growth. Once you have a working MVP, you enter the seed stage, building momentum. The first milestone is your MVP launch. Your product is live, serving real customers and generating usage data. This is when your assumptions start meeting reality. The second milestone is early traction. You begin to show measurable engagement, retention, and perhaps early revenue streams. Investors want to see that users are not just signing up, but sticking around. The third milestone is market fit pursuit. You use feedback to refine the product and edge closer to true product market fit. Iteration is constant here. Funding typically ranges from $1 million to $5 million, coming from seed VCs, super angels, and early stage funds. The purpose is to refine the product and strategy, not yet to scale aggressively. This is the stage where you're proving you can solve a problem that customers deeply care about. Series A is where startups begin scaling with confidence. By this point, you must demonstrate clear traction and repeatable growth patterns. The first signal is proven traction. Strong retention, consistent revenue growth, and validated demand across customer segments show that your product works and your market is real. The second is team expansion. Series A funding often supports hiring key talent, across engineering, sales, marketing, and operations. Scaling requires more than founders, it requires specialists. The third is go to market optimization. You take what worked at a small scale and refine it into repeatable sales processes and scalable marketing channels. Metrics like MRR, CAC, LTV, and churn become central to the story. Funding typically ranges from $5 million to $20 million. Investors expect you to be on a clear path to profitability with evidence that your model can scale sustainably. Beyond Series A come the growth rounds, Series B, C, and beyond. At this stage, your company has achieved strong product market fit and is scaling rapidly. The focus shifts from proving the model to maximizing its potential. The third focus is market expansion. You enter new geographies, target new customer segments, or launch adjacent product categories. Growth becomes global and diversified. The second is strategic acquisitions. Growth capital allows you to acquire complementary companies, technology, or talent to strengthen your position and accelerate progress. The third is infrastructure scale. Scaling exponentially requires investment in systems, processes, and organizational excellence. Growth isn't just about revenue, it's about building a company that can operate at massive scale without breaking. Funding here can range from $20 million to $100 million or more, with late stage VCs, growth equity funds, and strategic investors leading the charge. These rounds prepare you for either IPO or acquisition, setting the stage for your ultimate exit. Airbnb provide the perfect example of how strategic funding stages can fuel exponential growth. At pre-seed, the founders famously launched with air mattresses in their apartment and sold novelty cereal boxes, Obama O's and Captain McCain's, to bootstrap survival. This scrappiness validated their commitment and attracted early believers. At seed, Y Combinator gave them credibility and a platform to showcase traction. Their demo day pitch introduced them to Silicon Valley and helped secure product validation. At Series A, Sequoia Capital invested, providing not just money, but also credibility. With early traction proven, this backing fueled rapid expansion and gave Airbnb the reputation needed to win over skeptical markets. In growth rounds, Airbnb raised billions to expand globally, build infrastructure, and scale the platform into a global marketplace. These rounds laid the foundation for its eventual IPO, transforming a quirky idea into one of the most valuable travel companies in the world. The lesson is clear. Each funding stage brought bigger checks, bigger expectations, and higher stakes. Success required meeting milestones before advancing to the next stage. Startup funding is not random, it's a roadmap. Each stage, from pre-seed to IPO, has its own role, its own expectations, and its own implications for founders. Pre-seed is about proving the problem and showing demand signals. Seed is about launching, iterating, and pursuing product market fit. Series A is about scaling with confidence, building teams, and optimizing go-to-market strategies. Growth rounds are about expanding markets, acquiring strategically, and building infrastructure for massive scale. The story of Airbnb reminds us that startups are built step by step, funding stage by funding stage. Each round is both an opportunity and a test. Raise too much, too soon, and you risk losing control. Raise too little, and you may not survive to the next milestone. The art of fundraising is aligning capital with strategy. The ultimate takeaway is this: funding is not just money, it is fuel, validation, and accountability. By mastering the stages of startup funding, you not only secure the capital you need, you build the discipline, credibility, and trajectory to transform vision into reality.